waiting that late. Jonathan. Tell me when you're ready, because by the time you get that thing on, we're ready. All right, everybody ready? I'd like to call this meeting to order. I want to welcome everybody to November 6, 2018 meeting. Official time 6 o'clock. I need approval agenda. Before we ask for the approval, we've got 2 board appointments that will be coming off. Mr. Skinner and Mr. Grant will be coming off for the next meeting because we still got some paperwork we're waiting. With that said, I need a motion approval of the agenda.
So moved, Chairman.
Motion, second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. It's our privilege tonight. We have two veterans with us tonight that are going to help us with our invocation and our pledge. And after that, we're going to ask them to tell the story because a lot of people take for granted. They don't realize how important it is, what the meaning of the flag is, or what the sacrifice people in this world have taken to make sure that we're able to sit down like we are today and have open meetings. So it's very important that we hear the story. But this time we got Bill Sheffield, Army veteran, will provide an invocation, and Ms. Jody Tidwell, a Marine veteran, would lead us in the pledge, and then afterwards they'll tell the story.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good. Right.
How many people actually serve in the military or armed forces? Show me a big hand. You know, a lot of times people take it for granted because walking around, you know, it's not just a privilege. You know, people serve their life, you know, gave their life for us, and it's just an honor to me to be able to serve in the military. I wouldn't have had it any other way. I volunteered, and to me, it was just great. I've seen a lot of things and done a lot of things I never would have done. I was a teenager and I got dropped off in Germany. And I said, you're going away, man, it's going to be fun, it's going to be fun. When I got there, they dropped me off at the train depot, and so I asked this lady a question and she couldn't understand what I was saying. I couldn't understand what she was saying. I said, man, there could be a little more to this than I thought there was, you know. I went in the men's bathroom and I heard somebody behind me. I looked around and there was a lady in the men's bathroom with me. I said, what's up with this? You know, this is something different here. I still can't speak any English, but over there it's okay. You know, they can't, you know, go around in front of you, anything like that, but it's something to get used to. You know, when I was at boot camp, there was a fellow with me and we got a privilege of going off base right at the end of boot camp, and this fellow was 18 years old, and we went in to the juke joint or bar, or whatever you want to call it, and he ordered a beer, and we was in Missouri, and they said, you can't order no beer. I said, sure I can. I got money and I'm 18. Well, you can't drink because you're not 21. You know, that kind of bothered me a lot. You know, this fella can give his life to this country, but he can't drink a beer. But that's just part of the things that veterans go through, you know, basic training and AIT and all the stuff like that. But with all that being said, I still had a good time, and I did a lot of things that I never would have been able to do. Jody, you got anything to say?
I was in the Marine Corps. I was stationed in California and in Texas. I only did 4 years and 4 years as a reservist. But I really appreciate it. My husband passed away while we were both in the service, and the Marine Corps took care of us and took care of my kids, and it's truly a blessing.
That's awesome, man. I got out of it for 4 years, but I went to work with the Department of Defense and retired as a government employee right on. So we're gonna open this meeting with some word of prayer. If you will, everybody bow your head, and we're gonna open it up. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for being so good to us, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for our veterans. I pray that you would bless them and their families, Lord. I pray that you would bless the commissioners, Lord, and give them wisdom. And I thank you, Lord, for everything you do, Lord. I thank you for today. I thank you for yesterday, and I thank you for tomorrow. And everybody say amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Allegiance, pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Hello. Hey, John. JP, how we doing? Moving on to planning and zoning now. Mr. Petrowski, you want to present your planning and zoning item?
Yes, sir. Our only item on the agenda is a request by Kevin Poss. Properties at 140 Elam Church Road, and he's requesting an accessory dwelling unit. What this is it allows an addition to be placed onto an existing home to be set up kind of like a duplex or a mother-in-law's suite, be totally self-contained living facilities. And it's only for the bona fide need that's a doctor has said that there's a family need. They provided that requisite letter, and the Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
So is any questions or comments from Mr. Petrowski? If none, I need a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We'll move on to board appointments. As I said earlier, we've got Mr. Grant, Mr. Skinner will be heard at a later point because we're lacking a little bit of paperwork on them, but we've got approval to appoint William Michael Wallace to the Recreation Advisory Board for District 4 for a 3-year term beginning January 1, 2019 through December 31st of 2021. Everybody had opportunity to look at that, if so. Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. Move down to our consent agenda and approval for the minutes. We have a work session October 16th, 2018 at 5 p.m. We've got the third Tuesday, October 16th, 2018, and also the executive session on October 16th, 2018 at 6:19 p.m. Everybody had an opportunity to look at that. I need a motion approval.
So moved, Chairman.
A motion. We have a second. Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, thank you. New business. We have approved to apply for the new CHIP, which is Community Housing Improvement Grant, and the procurement of our administrator for the grant. Mr. Risner, is this your?
Mr. Chairman, I think we have Sherry Kurtz here with us tonight.
Yes.
Sherry Kurtz has served as the administrator on our current CHIP grant and is interested in serving as our administrator for a new grant cycle.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Well, as y'all know, you have a 16 CHIP, and it's winding down. We're almost done. Had a few issues, but just went kind of slow. But we have 7 houses. We're fixing to start the 7th house, and then we're looking for the 8th house, which we think we have, and that will probably finish it up. I'm going to recommend that we stay in the same area due to the poverty percentage. I looked up, the poverty has changed a little bit since 2000, we were going off 2014 numbers in 2016, so now we're going off 2016 numbers. The poverty has gone down. So back then you could get the highest number of points for being over 20% poverty, but now all of your census block groups are under 20% poverty. So you get 4 points for being over 20% poverty. So the areas down near the Bibb County line, census tracts are between 16 and 19%, almost 20. So we can get 3 points for that. I was trying to squeeze the Haddock area in this one, but the poverty is 14% over there. So then that would take you down another point. But because I know I had some calls from Haddock last time. If there's any way if I can talk to DCA and see if they'll let me average, and we still come out above 15% with the average, if they'll let me do that, then I can add in the census tract where Haddock is.
And I wanted to ask, have you considered Bradley, the Clinton area?
All of the census tracts are way down in percentage in the poverty. The Clinton area is the Macon. It's all of that down there off of.
Well, I was saying about Clinton more towards Gray in the historic Clinton area.
Those tracts are
okay.
Yeah, not much. Although one of them was like 6% or something like that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And the way they have the points, I wish they would just let us do it countywide.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
And that would be so much better. So we could, everybody could have a chance. But the way they do the points and the way they have the points this year, everybody is starting out at 70 points. That's like an A. Everybody is losing 30 points off the top based on how they have the points. They have a lot of points for match. And to even get any points that even amount to anything, you have to put in $30,000, and nobody's doing that. That's not going to happen. No. So nobody is getting those points. So the way the points are situated, they change it every year. So I never know what they're going to do with the points. But the way they have them situated, I've got y'all in about 60 to 61 points. So you're only losing about 10 points, I think. I think they'll fund somewhere between 55 and 65 points will be probably, I hope, the funding range based on just experience and knowing, nobody else is going to get those points either. So I think if I can manage to get the Haddock area in there, because the Haddock, it's in that big census block group. The census tract is a little less poverty, but when you squeeze it down to the block group, it gets a little bit more. So if they'll let me average it, and they'll still count those points to be in that 3-point range, I can just say we're going to work in the Haddock area too, and at least maybe the people that I have on the list, we can do something.
That'd be great. And I was going to ask, the urban redevelopment plan, do you get any points for being in that? You do get points for being in the plan. You also get they probably knock off a point for the target area not being in the plan, but y'all are amending the plan. And if y'all add that, if y'all are going to amend the plan and add the area down there in there, then I think they'll probably go ahead and let those points go forward, because it will be in the plan. It's cool. It's just important that the Haddock area is part of, but District 4 is where we're going to be incorporating.
Right, the Haddock area is in the plan. So if they will let me average, then that'll help too, because that area will be. I do have other grants I'm writing, and they have a plan that we're going to work over here, and there may be 3 or 4 houses in the plan. Yes, ma'am. But the rest of the houses are over here. I'm not sure what their plan is doing, but she told me that just the lady at the state said, just say yes. Some houses will be in, some houses will be out, and then they'll determine, what they're going to do. So,
any more questions or comments?
And I do have one more, Chairman. I would ask, if you don't mind, as you do your research, because I reached out to Greg over at the Regional Commission. He sent out some different programs for like home repairs and remodeling, and for people with low to moderate income. If you're aware of any additional grants, and I hope the board will I guess, with the consensus, support, if you identify grants, bring it back to us, and hopefully we can apply for them.
Right.
To try to make some
you do have CDBGs that you could apply for.
Right.
Y'all, I'm not sure if y'all did a CDBG in Haddock. I think y'all have had a street flood and drainage over there.
Years ago.
But y'all have plenty of areas in this census tract that we've been working in.
Yes,
this area, these 2 census tracts or 3 census tracts that are, great for CDBG target areas for housing. Okay. You can ask for up to $750,000 for a housing grant.
Because we already have one in that area.
Right, y'all got a sewer grant.
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So, and you can also ask for $1 million if you do a multi. If you want to mesh sewer and housing together, you can ask for up to $1 million. So if you got a street with bad houses and bad sewer, you can do that too.
Any more questions or comments? If not, I entertain a motion to go forward with this grant.
So move, Chairman.
Have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Second. If none, all in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We go forward, approval to request for equipment purchase, 2 mowers for the golf course and 1 utility cart for Parks and Recreation through the auction. Mr. Goins, this is your request.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Coming to ask permission to go on December the 11th to Moultrie, Georgia, to the Weeks turf auction. We've gone in previous years. This year I have a need for a John Deere 8800, which is a rough mower for the golf course. I need a greens mower. I need a gator for Parks and Recreation, and I also need a 70-inch zero-turn mower. These are 4 units. Typically in the past, I've always asked for to purchase each one of these units independently, not to exceed the range of $6,000 per unit. And so I'm asking permission to do the same again this year.
Any discussion or question from Mr. Goins? None, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion?
Did you say where the money would come from?
No, sir, it'd come out of SPOS. Yes, sir.
All right. Any more discussion?
So it comes out of golf spots funds?
Well, the Gator will come out of Parks and Recreation. The other will come out of golf. Yes, sir.
There's no more discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed. All right. 4-1. Thank you, Mr. Goins. Oh, you're still, approval request, golf cart rate increase for the golf course.
Yes, sir. I put in your seats there tonight some information relating to some research that I have done. I'm asking, but I've been doing a lot of thinking on this, and I've talked with Mr. Jason about it multiple times over the last couple of months. We have been at the same cart fee for a while when it comes to membership, and it's a $5 membership fee for the cart after you pay your annual fee. And if you look at where we're currently at, if you look at the regular membership first, we pay $800 when you do, and then they come in, they pay $5 per cart when they come and play. If you do an average of 80 rounds a year, that's basically twice a week for 40 weeks out of the year. Then they average about $15 per round. People, the members that come and average 3 rounds of golf for 40 weeks out of the year, they only average paying $11.66 per round of golf. When you do the math over on the senior side, you can see where their average is $10 and their average is $8.33. What I've done is called golf courses around Middle Georgia, neighboring us, and you can see their rates there where they pay per membership fees, and then you can also see their cart fees per round and how their numbers match up against our numbers. So I'm asking tonight to increase our fee from $5 per cart per round of golf to $10 per cart per round of golf. And then you can see at the bottom where if we do that for the regular members who still average 80 rounds a year, they will go from an average of $15 per round up to $17.50 per round. The ones who average $11.66 per round will go up to $15 per round. Your seniors will go from an average of $10 per round of golf to $15 per round of golf, and then the ones who do play a lot will go from $8.33 on average up to $13.33 per round of golf. And again, you can see those numbers compared to our neighbors and how we're still under everybody around us in those numbers.
Any questions from Mr. Goins? Comment?
I just think golf is a tough sport, you know what I mean, for to make any type of profits, and just concern of going up on, rates may affect some of our golfers. We still will be, I guess, lower compared to other golf courses in the area.
Yeah, but I feel like if we're still lower than our area courses, this would decrease the burden a little bit on us as far as what we come out on our budget, help out a little bit. Not a substantial amount, but every little bit helps at this point. Any comment, Ms. Kitchen?
It looks like, are we going down on the membership fee for
regular members? Yes, sir. The regular members, we're going from $800 to $600, and that's to help also, try to drive in more of your regular members, which are your 55 and below golfers. And you can see that number is still somewhat lower than any of our surrounding golf courses as well. I'm sorry, that number is higher than our neighboring courses.
Yes. What is the ratio to regular members and senior members?
We have more seniors than we do regulars. I would say 2.5 to 1.
Because it just, and I agree the foot cart fee needs to go up. I 100% agree with that. But it appears we're taking some of that hit off of the regular members, and we're not taking it off the seniors, which I just think the seniors are probably more regular players, more dedicated players. They've got the time to come out and play more often. So, what would the numbers look like if we reduced the membership fee by 100 on each one of them instead of 200 for one? And that way we're doing the same. We're reducing the 100 on the membership fee and we're increasing the cart fee. In the end, does that give us close to the same amount of money?
I don't know that by dropping the membership fee on seniors is going to drive in more members, more senior members. I would have to just simply speculate on that. Dropping the fee on regular membership from 800 to 600, I think that would probably draw in more members of the middle age golfer versus dropping the seniors to bring in more senior golfers. Again, that's speculation. I mean, I don't really know the true answer behind that.
Any more questions? Oh, go ahead.
I think it would be more fair to, again, I agree with the cart fee increase that's needed based on the numbers, but I don't like to take some of the hit away from one and not take it away from the other. So I think, what we lose on one side, we gain on the other. And if we're going to attract, if people are wanting to play golf and they're going to be members, unless we've got something that says $800 is too much, I'm not going to be a member, but at $600, I'd be a member. I understand the theory behind it, and I agree with that, but I'd rather see us go 100 off of each one and then the cart fee to 10.
Well, if we drop one fee and raise another, are we accomplishing anything?
In theory, the answer is yes, in the means of you would hope that those other additional golfers that you're bringing into the course would spend money on your merchandise that we sell, on our food, our concessions that we sell, and things of that nature. Again, when you talk to other courses and you ask them how things have worked for them, some say it's worked out. It did drive in more, which upped the sales of this stuff over here. Others say it didn't make a change. So, it's I don't want to say trial by fire, but there's no science behind it.
Mr. Martin, you have anything?
Sell the golf course, give us back our money.
I guess what I'm thinking is, I guess maybe potentially tabling this right here and asking Matt to present us with some numbers as of what would it look like with our current membership, cart fees, what was it generate? And then the proposal that you have right now with the regular members paying $600, cart fee 10, and then one that Commissioner Kitchens proposed with the membership being $710. So we kind of look at some numbers. So for an example, currently we're bringing in, I'm making this up, 50,000. With this new plan, we're bringing in 60. But if you do what Commissioner Kitchens proposing, you do 55. And then we kind of see what potential numbers we're looking at. Is it going to stay the same? Is it going to go up? With the current number of members that we have, regular members, senior members, and we look at numbers, and then I think we can make a better decision, based off that.
All right. Is that consensus of the board?
That's just my proposal, Chairman.
All right. We'll make a motion to table.
Yes, sir. So I made the motion that we table, and Matt presented some more numbers based on the current membership and the proposals that's proposed by Matt as well as Commissioner Kitchens.
All right. We have a motion to table. I have a second. Second. More discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Opposed.
All right, 4-1. Thank you, Mr. Gowen. 90-way payroll deduction, Ms. Wagner.
I met with the representative from the United Way a couple weeks ago, and we talked about them coming in to start a workplace campaign. The United Way services Jones County. They're a nonprofit organization that raises funds for other nonprofits. Susan G. Coleman Foundation pulled out of our area, so they no longer service us. So United Way picked that up with a Pink Promise United campaign for men and women to be able to get the medical assistance they need through those means. They come into our schools and they bring books, and we have volunteers that come in and read to our children. They offer all kinds of health programs for our Jones Countyans, and I think it's important that we give back. And I would like your permission for us to start this campaign.
Any comments or questions, Ms. Shannon? If none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion. Have a second.
Second.
Second. No more discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it tonight. Thank you. Prudential Pathways, a financial wellness series.
Jason and I met with the Prudential people, and I gave y'all a folder. They would come in and meet with our employees and offer financial wellness, different classes. They have different seminars set up. There's 4, and it's in the small booklet. Would not cost anything. Teach them about retirement, how to save. I think it would be great for our employees to be able to have this, with your permission, if we can move forward with it.
All right.
I think it's great, Chairman, with something we was talking about at work today about the importance of, saving and investing and, learning at an early age the importance of it. So I think it'd be great to offer to our employees, and I would love to partner maybe with the school system. I don't know if you can offer some of those classes to the high school students, or as they, go out into the workforce and know the importance at an early age of saving and investing. And by starting at an early age, once they turn 50 or 60 years old, they have a nice lump sum of money. So those are my comments, and after any other comments, I'll be glad to make a motion.
Sure.
This is completely voluntary.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Martin, any comment?
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. At the same token, if Prudential gets to come in, I think other financial services entities ought to come in. If we're going to do this, let's put them on a quarterly basis. Prudential's first rotation, First Financial, whoever's third.
Okay.
Plug in ACCG, because obviously they don't have any incentive to come down other than to do what's right for our employees. And then fourth quarter, another entity. And if somebody else wants to come on next year, we just put them in a rotation, give everybody a free shot.
Okay.
Mr. Kitchen, any comment? All right. Commissioner Pitts, I'm ready for your.
So I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we move forward with Prudential, as well as open up to other financial institutions that want to participate.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Second. No more discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to new business number 6, award bid for the sheriff vehicles. Mr. Resner, I think you had that one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We bid out 6 different vehicles for the Sheriff's Department. There were, the request was for 4 Dodge Chargers, 1 Dodge Durango, and 1 Chevy Tahoe. We received 4 different bids. We had one bidder that bid on all 3 types of vehicles. We had another that bid on two of the types of vehicles, and then the last 2 bidders just bid on the Chevrolet Tahoe. In talking with Chief Burnett at the Sheriff's Department, the bid from Langdale Chevrolet appears to be non-responsive. The Chevrolet Tahoe model that they quoted is not what we requested in the bid, and so I would suggest to you that particular bid is non-responsive. So I think you probably have 2 options that you could consider. One, you could go with Ginn Commercial, who proposed all 3. The total cost there would be $164,192. The other option would be to take the bid. It says Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram there. It's Humboldt Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. You could take that and pair it with the bid from Childress Chevrolet, which had the Chevrolet Tahoe. The total combining those 2 would be $163,868. So it saves $324 if you pair those versus going with Ginn Commercial. Now, from a convenience standpoint, paperwork standpoint, that kind of thing, it's certainly I think better from from a staff standpoint at least, just to pay the extra $324 and buy it all from one. But I'll leave that up to the board, and I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all might have.
Questions or comments, Mr. Resner, on this?
Any comments or recommendations from Sheriff's Department on?
They were fine either way. They said that both the Tahoes from the Tahoe quoted by Ginn and the one quoted by Childry were compliant with the specifications we had there, and so they didn't have a big preference on one or the other.
Anyone else?
Travis Douglas is here with us from the Sheriff's Department. I didn't mean to overlook you there.
Exactly what I was said. Like I said, the lane depth was not what, they didn't do what we asked for, but I think Childry was the lowest. Childry over again were fine. They have what we wanted. And on the Dodge Chargers, however you guys here decide to do that, I'm the same recommendation you are.
All right. Any more questions or comments? And then I'll entertain a motion, a decision on this bid.
Motion to approve.
Yes.
Jim?
And second.
That was going with the
Yeah.
the one all the way across on Jen.
And that's one that Jason recommended, just go with one, right?
Okay. I'll have a motion approved in a second. If no more discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, just a second.
I did.
All right. Ready? All right, jail expansion design agreement. Mr. Resner, I'll hand that to you again.
Mr. Chairman, as you know, the sheriff has been working for a number of years on a jail expansion. We'll add a new female cell block. This board approved the financing for that project a few weeks back, and the sheriff has been working with Precision Planning for probably back to at least 2013 on some conceptual plans for the jail. This proposal is a design agreement to take those to full construction plans and for Precision Planning to help oversee the construction of the addition there. So I guess it would be my recommendation to approve the design agreement for the jail expansion.
All right, I'll open the floor up for questions or comments.
Yeah, Chairman, I got a comment on it. I don't see many, whether it's come up as a construction manager at risk or just for professional services on an hourly basis. That's not usual for project management. And if you add it out, the total, I'm not sure what the exact cost would be, and that's got a little bit of concern for me. But if you total out the not to exceed, you're over 10% cost of project for professional services, which is a little far out of the ballpark than what I'm used to seeing.
Yes, any comments, questions?
I guess I'll just comment. So what would you recommend, Commissioner Kitchens?
Yeah, they give us a defined amount and then see what that percentage is, or give them 6% of cost.
Commissioner Robinson, comments or questions? Commissioner Martin?
Inclined to agree with Sam. One, I'm never a fan of not bidding a project management or any other construction project out. This seems inclusive as a part of the original plans that was solicited by the sheriff. Not to exceed would be more appealing, but because our local lenders didn't get to participate, I'm not supporting this.
Okay. Commissioner Kitchen, I got a question. 6% is what you normally see with your...
That's for project management and oversight,
right.
Design and oversight of the project. That would be, I know as much as the sheriff's worked with them, they should have preliminary designs already. They're just going from preliminary to schematic designs, construction ready to bid out. So they're that number of going to schematic design, 15,000, but you know, the construction documents, you know, that number's a little high for me. The number 3, 1, 2, and 4 are close to good numbers. I just think 130,000 to go to construction documents when you've already got preliminary. It's a pretty good number. I think that's where the issue is, the 6 to 10%, in my opinion.
Well, I'll look to you for a motion on guidance
So what have you seen hourly or the percentage that Commissioner
That's why
Kitchens?
percentage wise, this is, we've got the expertise of his knowledge doing this every day with making bibs, so that's a great plus here, so.
Yeah, the only time you would see an hourly rate is when they're already on board on a project, and that hourly rate is for anything over what you've contracted with originally, so the over and aboves. And I don't know how to do it other than to table and see if we can talk with them and see what, either give us a hard number that matches the percentage rates, or just do a percentage of overall cost. If there's too many unknowns, that they're going to be at risk of not being able to give us a hard number. Maybe, better to do a percentage of total cost.
Okay.
That does two things. It keeps us, our costs within reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't just give us a not to exceed number, because, it's easy to get close to that not to exceed number.
All right.
Is there a time pressure on this? I mean, is it? I know that we needed it yesterday, and I don't want to hold up the process, but
I don't think 2 weeks will. And I hate to speak for the sheriff,
right?
But I can certainly go back and I think I may have mentioned to you, the 6 to 7 is kind of what I had seen before too. And when I questioned them about that or asked about that, her response was that it was a renovation project, and so typically they charge 9 to 10 on a renovation project. But I don't mind going back and certainly asking again and seeing if we can work with them to get a better fee.
Well, we have a motion to table with the directions to go back with them. Do I have a second?
Second.
There's no more discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Commissioner Martin, the next one is leaving at noon on November 21st, 2018, the day before Thanksgiving. I was going to open the floor up for you on this one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Not knowing what the weather is going to be like, but more importantly, it is a holiday season. Many of our staff have to leave at 5 o'clock to go home to prepare meals, and I know how it is in my house. It takes a day or so to do those final things, and wanted to give our employees the opportunity to do the same thing that our constituents are privileged to do. So asking for them to at least have that half day or be able to leave by noon on Thanksgiving Eve.
All right. I have any questions or comments?
Have we done it before? I mean, is this something we do before? Or?
I'm not sure. I know we've done some holidays in the past, but I can't recall which ones and how often.
We give them a special holiday on the 4th to help them out. I think, what is the 4th? We give a holiday. One thing I'm looking at, if you do that, basically you're cutting yourself down to a 2-day week. They get Friday off already with pay. Am I correct?
Public Works.
So if they've already get Friday off, and if you do a half day the day before Thanksgiving, you might as well write the whole day off. I'm just, nothing's going to happen.
Whole day, I'm okay with the whole day.
No, I'm just saying, we're already if you do that, we're down to 2 days that week, and there's a lot takes place in a week.
Yeah, it lines up with the school system. The school system is half day. Many of our staff have children that attend school, and it just lines up. When my kids off school, I'm at home to receive them off the bus. I mean, again, that's a choice and an option.
Right.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I know with the private sector, if you got vacation time and you want to take it off, you utilize that for that day. And I just don't want to, particularly after today and all the calls of the different things we needed done throughout the county and concerns, I hate to cut us down to 2 days. And basically, like I said, if they take a half day off, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and say that everybody that works for the county don't deserve it. As far as looking at fees. But I really think you're cutting us down to two days. I mean, if they got vacation time and they want to take off, I think they can more go to the department heads and take off. That's my opinion, but I don't get a motion. I just get a vote.
So if they have vacation time, they could use it for that half day?
However the policy works, yes, they could go to the department head. Isn't that how it works?
I've never gotten a half a day off before holidays that were given, but we are allowed to take, vacation that day if you,
Right.
and a lot of people do.
Right. A lot of people plan for the vacation to take it.
A lot of people take the whole week off because they're only taking 3 days of vacation to get 7.
And I just know after my phone blowed up today, it was one of the unusual days that my county phone was wide open. It was, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. And wow. So a couple of them even came up here today.
Yeah,
So
it's unusual. I know even Bibb County, when they were in a budget crisis, they looked at even furloughing days. So in budget crunch, y'all can do an amazing thing, and we're not in that situation, but it's just a nice thing to do for employees. More importantly, if they're able to use their vacation time, I think that's reasonable and better than nothing.
Yeah. All right. Any more discussion? Any more action?
That would be, as I believe Sam said, for policy.
Right, per policy. No action needed on this?
I could throw a motion out there, but y'all aren't willing to.
No. I just asked if there's any more action.
Well, I would love to do it because I want to do my part. I move that we give the employees a half day on that day before Thanksgiving.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'm going to call a motion dies for failure for a second. All right. Moving on. Staffing for Matty Wells Gymnasium during November, December, January school break. Mr. Martin?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Similar scenario. Schools closed. Many of our kids have very limited activities to do. And we also know there's a feeding opportunity for those that may be at risk. Wanting to open it up for those days in November, I think that's an additional 27 hours. I think the hourly rate's $10 an hour. It's $270 in November. I don't know what December is. I assume it's 2 weeks. Theoretically, that would add an additional 54 hours or $540. And then January is probably 3 days, maybe. January, again, I don't know the Jones County schedule. All in all, I would suspect that it might be an increase of $1,000 to be open. Hopefully, if we do have the food program available, we can feed kids breakfast and lunch between the hours of 7 and noon and continue the availability right up to its regular opening time of 4 o'clock.
Mr. Goins, not to put you on the spot, but we're getting some excellent activity at that location, aren't we? And it being well used?
Yes, being in the evenings, yes, sir.
Great. That's okay. If we're getting used to that, that's great. Basically, you just covered meal services and distribution through that same break in the same, which is fine. Any discussion or questions from Commissioner Martin?
Do we feel pretty confident we can get food during those couple weeks, or we have to do some research into it?
I have a meeting Thursday with Breaking the Chain Ministry out of Macon. They'll be coming over. The Thanksgiving break is a little short notice to try to get it put together, but we're going to work on it. No promises there. We should be able to handle the December, January feeding. We are requesting, I am requesting through Breaking the Chain Ministry that Jones County Parks and Recreation become a state exempted site so that we'll be able to handle these issues at any point moving forward once we get the status of exempt. Something that Macon Bibb already does in their recreation departments. The challenge we have is that we're going to need to hire or get qualified staff employed. The staff that I currently have really isn't designed to do this. So I'll need to try to get some staff hired, try to reach out to the school system to see if I can utilize some of the people that they have, like Ms. Blunt and some other people that work with their after-school program and out-of-school program, and see if they can help link some people our way. It'll be a little bit more than what Commissioner Martin said fee-wise, because when it comes to feeding, we'll have to have more than one person present to do this. So we'll need 2 people, not 1. But it's definitely doable. It's something we can definitely put together.
Could this be something to reach out to the churches to see if they have any volunteers that's willing to help out, especially when it comes to serving the food during those hours?
I mean, it's always a possibility.
Because that's something I would like to do, especially once churches, they know about it because there may be a parent, their kid is, participating in it. And we have to do a background check on the parent, but, you got to volunteer. That's going to save the county some money versus trying to hire, someone other than the person that has to be there with us, but the volunteer can help serve the food as long as they get a background check or whatever.
The challenge with using volunteers for something that is a mandatory, must be present scenario.
No guarantee they're going to show up.
When that volunteer doesn't show up,
you're stuck, right?
And I agree. I wholeheartedly support it, and I really think we ought to do it. I know it's going to be a challenge to do it by Thanksgiving, and I don't think that's that bad because Thanksgiving most of the people are going to be at home with their parents Thursday and Friday eating anyway, because most of the parents are going to be off. But when school breaks come around, I think it's a great thing to do. It's going to be hard to hire and train for that purpose, just for serving on 10 days a year.
when we do,
I think we need to partner with the school system or with somebody that already has that trained staff. And if we need to, figure out how we fund that, that's one thing, but because they're already certified and all that.
what we'll be able to do that may, and again, this may be beyond what we're trying to accomplish here today, but when we get exempt status, we'll be able to also serve supper meals on a daily basis.
Wow.
If we choose to go that route. I do know Macon has a couple sites where they already do this in their recreation department. When you get exempt status, when you have an after-school feeding and then you have an out-of-school feeding. When you're on holiday break or summer, that is considered out of school, and then in the afternoons is considered after school. So it all, again, it's all about holding that status to make that happen. But I can definitely reach out to the school, possibly utilizing their kitchen staff there in their nutrition department to help this. I don't want to speculate saying they will do it for our part-time fee. I don't know what they make, so I don't want to speculate what they will or won't take as a salary. But it's doable, and we can figure out a way to make it work.
Okay. That being said, if there's no more discussion or questions, I entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed. I'm not in favor of keep adding things on that are not budgeted.
All right, we've already taken care of 10 too, so we can skip on to 11. The CGTC Water Department Training Classroom use during weekends and weekdays for the youth.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, not trying to add anything to the budget that doesn't cost anything, but the building's already available. I'm the chair of the Middle Georgia Workforce Development Elected Officials Board. We have our staff in all of our counties participate with the exception of Bibb County. Gives us an opportunity to meet kids where they are, put in place some soft skill training, some other work-based initiatives, resume writing, college prep, and so on. Part of my staff is a part of the College and Career Academy, was a part of the College and Career Academy initiative, and they're actually reaching out to the superintendent at this point to do some in-school things, but want to take advantage of our facilities to provide youth with a place to go to get some additional training. If we don't do it in our county, somebody else will do it in their county, and it'll be difficult for our kids to get transportation out to those locations. Not to mention, we, again, are privileged to have access to $1.2 million for out-of-school youth. Last year, we sent $600,000 up to DeKalb County because we don't use it not only in our county but in the region. So want to take advantage of that, bring staff out to help our kids in school, out of school with those particular skill sets and ask for use of that facility.
So we just simply partner with Central Georgia Tech to do that?
Central Georgia Tech is using a facility from 4 to 6. Now, I want to stretch their personnel. They're a partner with us as well. They actually received one of our grants to service. So in theory, they will come along.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments?
What is the cost?
Zero.
Any more questions? Martin, I entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a second. No more discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Number 12 on new business approve amendment to the Transportation Procurement Manual line with the changes to the FTA threshold. Who's handling?
I'm handling that.
Okay.
This would be a change to the procurement manual. It only applies to the transit program because it is federally funded. The manual was approved in May. The changes that are required are changes to the federal thresholds, which are it was adopted May the 1st, and it requires an amendment to the micro purchase threshold, $1 to less than $10,000, and small purchase threshold, $10,000 to $250,000. And we have to follow this procurement policy because of the federal program. I ask for a motion to approve the amendment.
So moved, Chairman, because that's a long, drawn-out policy manual, and I read most of it. And the fact of the matter is, if we're going to have federal funding, then we got to abide by it. So.
I have a motion and a second.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. All right, right-of-way deed for Kay Kelly, Attorney Child.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Bert King approached me sometime back, about a month ago. He has a client, a lady, I believe this is in Commissioner Robinson's district, Miss Kay Kelly. She has some property, some lots on Oak Forest Drive. This is some abandoned right-of-way of the old Grizzleville Road. Talked to John Lowe. John went out and looked to make sure that's what we thought it was. We don't maintain it. John doesn't want it. We'd be better off getting rid of it. Might add a little tax value even to her property. So I don't see any reason in the world we shouldn't convey this to Ms. Kelly, and there's a deed here we have prepared if the board approves it.
Any questions for Attorney Child? Comment?
Put it on the taxes. Tax roll.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
All right.
Approve the right-of-way deed for Kay Kelly.
Second. No more discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
But Chairman, this is, if you want to sign it, if you don't mind, while you got it right here. I've witnessed it, Margie, and if you'll get somebody to notarize it, then maybe you have put your seal on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Uh-oh, I got your pen. That's a nice one, too.
Came from the EMA.
Oh, okay. I got one of those pens. I don't want it. But I have no old business department heads. Ms. Shannon?
I have received all the applications back for the animal control director, and they have been scored and ranked, and I need y'all to tell me how to proceed.
Yes.
Okay.
How many candidates?
There were 12.
Good.
I think we should maybe interview the top 6. But I don't, we had talked about having.
With them ranking, was there a point where we got top percentile and then we had a big gap? Was that between 6 and 7, or is it between 4 and 5, or?
Well, it ranges from 7.33 to 3.
Out of 10?
12. Oh, out of 10. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Yes, average on a scale out of 10.
What would be your suggestions, thoughts? Have y'all had an opportunity to talk?
Well, I know before we had talked about having some of the rescue group come in and participate. I know, Sam, you've been, in touch with them.
Yeah, and we talked about that, about having them listen in on, either we're going to do interviews or however we do them, not being actually involved, but listening and then maybe giving their input later. Without giving too much, where's the middle of the road at? Is it at 5 or is it at 6?
It's at 5.
At number 5?
Yeah.
And
well,
I don't think we want less than.
What the 6th person ranked 5. So it would go from 7.33 to 5, the top 6.
What are the top 3? Is like the top 3 7.5, 7.3, 7.2, or?
7.3, 6.6, and 6.
I'm thinking just kind of stick with the top 3.
Okay.
And I mean, you guys make a decision based on that because I don't know. That's just my opinion. Kind of. I mean, that's where they're scored. You got 3 top candidates. You guys interview them, and if you guys are not acceptable, if it's not acceptable, then you guys can open up to the others. But these are top 3, and
we didn't say in the last meeting whether it was going to be 3 or 5.
No.
Comment, Mr. Martin?
Just out of curiosity, we did not change his role to department head, right?
Yes. He was a director.
Okay. So I remember for a long time, I couldn't remember if we did it or not. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
I'd like to see the top 6 since the numbers are so close.
Mr. Robinson?
I'm good with the 3.
I just need a motion and some guidance there. Where y'all want to go with?
You're going to make a decision. You got 2 3s and 2 6s.
I just get the vote.
You make the votes. I make the motion. We do the top 3.
We have a second? Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
4-1.
There was none.
All right, so they're opposed. So now the chairman, you make a decision.
Top 3?
You want
I said top 3.
The 3 or the 5?
They want 3.
We want 3. They want 6.
I say. I'm be honest with you, I went to 3. I mean,
all right, there you go.
Unless Shannon, what I'm saying that unless Shannon and Jason feel like that the top 6 are.
The reason why I say top 6 is because
if y'all say
going through and looking.
2 of y'all have already interviewed these, so you come forward to 6.
No, we
haven't interviewed.
No, I have just looked through the applications, and I don't know if the top 3 is what we're looking for.
Really?
Yeah.
You know they're the top scoring people. Okay. Well, if you recommend 6, I amend my motion, Mr. Chairman. We interview 6, and we'll go with that, Mr. Chairman.
Top 6.
Okay.
Second.
We're amending the motion.
I amended the motion, Chairman.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We got all 5.
All right.
That's right.
And we are going to open it up for the animal groups to come in during.
Well, it's going to be open to interviews.
Are y'all doing interviews?
Yeah.
With the board?
We need to be involved, yeah. We need a date and time.
Okay. All right.
We need to come up with a date and time, we'll make it happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you. What time it is, Dr. Miss Shannon? There was 13 things on this agenda. What time is it?
All right, keep going.
Keep going.
She's waiting on you, Chairman.
I've got to tell you something cute happened this afternoon. Jason was laughing about it. Somebody was sitting in the hall. I can't believe he's got 13 things on new business. And he said, well, why don't you ask him? He's right behind her. I had to laugh about it. It's cute, but we're doing well. All right. Mr. Pelkey, you got anything tonight for us? You're good?
Good man.
I just want to remind y'all that we have employee luncheon Friday from 11 to 1. We're having, each employee will have a choice, they'll have a chicken breast and a hot dog. They'll have baked beans, potato salad, and coleslaw. It's going to be a good day. Hopefully, if the weather doesn't cooperate, we'll be inside the gymnasium. But we're going to have it regardless. So please make plans to be there.
Are we serving?
And Commissioner serving again?
No, there's self-serve.
Oh,
It will happen where the employees go down both sides. But Middle Georgia Lighting, Middle Georgia Outdoor Lighting, Keith Roberts, his company's been cooking for the last 4 or 5 years. They'll be here to cook.
All right.
And so there'll be activities, cornhole, basketball, other activities. We have right at 40 door prizes that we'll be giving away as blind random draws. So it will be hopefully a fun afternoon for employees.
Starts at 11.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
The county is shutting down at 11. People will start arriving around 11:30ish. Time to get out of their office and get over here. Yes, sir.
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. Now, can we give the board an update of how the wellness committee meeting is going with Shaw Hakens and some of the ideas that you guys have come up with?
Right now, we had a meeting, me, Shannon, Jonathan, April, can't remember who else was there, but we had a meeting, threw a lot of good ideas around. It was almost like a shotgun approach. We just threw a bunch of stuff against the wall, see what stuck. We're going to continue to have these meetings. I don't want to speak too far ahead in the future for Shaw Hankins, but they're going to be coming back with some ideas that's going to help us long term, even when they may or may not be our vendor moving forward.
Good.
So we are moving forward with the wellness plan, and it appears that with what we're putting together, there's a chance for some good incentive awards. No, I shouldn't say award, but incentives to the employees through financial gain if they're willing to do their part to become healthy.
Good.
So we are moving forward with that. There'll be more to come probably around January or February.
Good. Thank you.
Right.
Tell them about the other meeting we had with LGRMS, the cooking classes.
Oh, yes. We had a meeting with LGRMS. We have a series of different classes that'll be coming up. We have a healthy eating class that we'll be doing here in 4-H. We have a ergonomics study. They'll be coming around. We'll be taking people from different departments who spend the majority of their day sitting down. We'll be studying, like Miss Margie will be studying her chair, her desk, her posture, and they'll make recommendations to, you know, if we change her chair or if we do this to her desk, her back, her neck will feel better. Just using it as an example, not saying you have back or neck problems. And so we're going to do that to different people. I know one of our employees, Tim Petrowski, has back issues, so he'll be a good candidate for the ergonomic study. We're going to do that around the courthouse, tax assessors, tag office, so different departments. We're also looking at putting together a women's only wellness class. We have some of our female employees who don't feel comfortable going into our wellness center back here by themselves after hours, so we're looking at doing a women's only wellness, you know, and it'll go in the evenings where it'll be women only for a certain amount of time back here to exercise with themselves. And then hopefully that'll continue to grow more and more. And then as more women feel comfortable going in there, and if you got 5 or 6, and they'll be fine with male and start to integrate again during those windows of opportunity. So we just taking baby steps. There was another class we were going to do too.
Diabetes and then a heart.
Yes, we're also going to have a couple different classes here. They'll have different sessions so that employees from around the county can come at different time frames. So you'll have a 9 to 11 class, and you'll come back and have a 2 to 4 class. So there'll be different departments can go half and half, so the whole department trying to go. But it's to do diabetes classes to help inform better ways to eat better and do best, and also again healthy eating classes. The same.
And the reason why I asked, we started the whole Live Healthy Jones initiative. I think it's going great because those are some of the things we wanted to focus on: health, wellness, diabetes, heart disease, and that type of stuff. And just to ask the board, would it be acceptable to open up to the public so that they can come and listen to those classes? Because just the fact is, health is affecting everybody in Jones County. Part of the presentation I had today at work is health insurance rates are going up because health insurance companies just simply pass it on to individuals. And one way you can try to help combat it is through wellness. So if, the general public, they're aware of it, partnering maybe with the health department, and just put it out there. Maybe have 2 or 3 people come, because I guess it just affects Jones County. And like I said, the whole initiative behind Live Healthy Jones is making sure that the public is aware of healthy choices, healthy options. And then based on the study that was just presented not too long ago, Jones County is considered one of the healthiest counties in this middle Georgia region. So I think it's just something for us to build upon, especially when we have these programs that we can open up to the public and there's no additional cost. They just come and listen.
One idea we threw out there is Public Works has a facial scan login clocking system. Doing something like that on our wellness center back here. And so you would clock in, you would log in, log out by entering the wellness center. So your time frame that you're in there would accumulate. After you accumulated so much time in the wellness center, then you would start getting incentive points. When you accumulated so many incentive points, then that would start coming off of your deductible, your monthly deductible of your insurance. These are the type of programs that we're, as a master plan, we're trying to put together with Jonathan to see how it plays out.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Resner?
Two quick things, Mr. Chairman. Just going to mention that the College and Career Academy has their presentation in Atlanta on Thursday. They're finalists for the College and Career Academy grant. Commissioner Kitchens and I will be going. I don't think we got a speaking part in the presentation, but we'll be there
Moral support.
That's right, for moral support. Our portion talks a little bit about the GCAPS youth leadership program that we're a part of. So that'll be a big day for the school system and for Jones County as a whole. So just want to let you know we'd be a part of that. One other thing I wanted to mention: we've been working with Georgia DOT for a good period of time on replacing the bridge on Homer Roberts Road near Howard Roberts Road. Thank you.
Ain't no bridge on Homer Rock.
Okay.
There is now.
It wasn't when I was
and so there's a Georgia DOT program that will replace bridges on local routes, and so that bridge has been identified as one that they'll pay for to replace. They're going to have a meeting on November 15th at Dames Ferry Elementary from 5 to 7, talking about the detour plan for that bridge replacement. So just wanted to make everyone aware of that. November 15th at Dames Ferry from 5 to 7. I think they'll have maps showing the detour route and that type of thing. Not sure on the exact timing of the project. We have talked with them about the fact that the school's in close proximity there. They're very aware of that and the impact that it would have on bus routes. And so we'll continue that dialogue. Previously, they had indicated to us that they would try to do as much of the work during the summer as they could to minimize the impacts on bus traffic and just traffic in general going to the school. So just want to make everyone aware of that.
All right. Oh, we don't have any more department heads there. Citizens comments. Anybody like to come forward tonight?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. John Wood, Oliver Green Road. Back on October 11th, we lost a great citizen in this community. He served on the Board of Equalization. He spent 25 years of his career teaching and serving love and dedication to the students of Jones County. And I think it would be only appropriate if you gentlemen renamed part of Railroad Street from maybe the four-way to Overland Way after John Tremnell. So put that for y'all's consideration and y'all talk about it. And
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's a great idea.
The four-way to Overland.
Four-way.
Right there, the educational four-way to Overland Way, which it encompasses the high school, Mr.
Okay.
Kendall.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
active in, and
I got you.
I mean, even though he retired, he didn't retire.
No. I mean, he worked every day.
Yeah, there every day. That was his life, was at school. He gave every minute of it too. He's a great guy. But
Yeah.
tragic loss. Anybody else like to come forward tonight? Commissioner comments. Who'd like to start tonight? Mr. Robinson?
I will, thank you. I just want to congratulate Jones County employees. They keep rolling with the safety improvements and safety records, and they keep going home safe and sound, and that's a wonderful thing. Thank you all.
Commissioner Martin?
I chuckled earlier about the golf course, and while it seems funny, it's actually not. It's almost an $800,000 bill annually, and we lose money. I know it's a quality of life. I'm a big economic development guy. I know where it fits, but I also know the burden that it is to the constituents, to the taxpayers, and also to Matt and his staff. It's a huge responsibility. And again, at $800,000, it's almost a 20th of the budget. We spend or allocate almost that much for the sheriff's vehicles in a SPLOST, to give you perspective. And for it to not produce, and we still have challenges, we may have to look at a private option for it that makes sense, to bring those resources back inside, or even roll back taxes for folks, because again, that's a significant number. The other thing we have an opportunity, I think, to service youth, and I'm happy that we're doing some of those things. Not trying to make government big, but these are things that governments are already doing across the state, and it's not something that a party does. It's actually ordained by the governor, believe it or not. Workforce development comes down through that office and is now a part of the technical system of Georgia. But more importantly, we were voted best state to do business in for the 6th year in a row, and it happens because of the workforce that we put in place, and it starts with youth, believe it or not. And that's one of the reasons why the school system is up petition for College and Career Academy. It just aligns. So as long as we put the pieces of the puzzle together, the kids will have an opportunity for success, and that's what it's really about. There are some great trade opportunities. Georgia Pipe Trades is advertising for all of the trades, and we need to figure out how we put our kids into that vein. Not all of our kids go to college, and that's a real reality that we're facing. Obviously, that's why we have a career academy. The things that we do at the workforce development level are things that undergird that. And if I come here with it, I promise you it's about that. And I'm happy that you guys are willing to embrace that. For those that have trades, we know welding is a critical one, truck driving, diesel mechanics. We have very few diesel mechanics. I had the wonderful privilege of going to Cuba not too long ago, and all they have is diesel mechanics. Can't bring them here because Make America Great is not going to allow that to happen, but we have a shortage, and that's an opportunity. Same thing with welding. So those are going to be things that are going to come to you later. It's a part of what we used to do, as well as commercial truck driving. That was something sponsored by county commissioners. And as we look at available space, want to make sure we afford our constituents the same thing. I brought up the kiosk a little while ago. It's a couple $1,000. We'll pitch in as a workforce development board to bring that kiosk to the county. It's about jobs and jobs opportunities. Not all of our constituents can drive from here to Warner Robins. That's where our office is located. I'm trying to get them to move to Jones County, but they're not ready. So it is what it is. Bringing the kiosk helps our constituents get closer to them with regard to job opportunities. So just wanted to share that. And we have some other folks that are retiring, and I don't know when we're going to make that announcement, but want to make sure we honor all those who've made a contribution to the county. Hey, I'm happy that y'all are voting. Voter turnout is amazing in the county, so keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pitts?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I guess the biggest comment I got is kind of interesting that this past Saturday, Commissioner Kitchens and I were invited over to Clinton, and they had approximately 25 or 30 members drove down from Atlanta to tour historic Clinton. And I know that tourism is alive and well in Jones County. And talking to the director that actually helped coordinate this event, he feels like he can get more people into Jones County, more people to visit Clinton. So as we look at economic development and other opportunities for Jones County, tourism is one. Clinton is an area that people are interested in. You know, it's just interesting to hear some of the things that the people want to see. Landscaping, the types of shutters that were used, the types of siding that was on the homes. People have those interests, and Clinton has that for those people. Therefore, I think we need to, and I spoke with Mercer Lean and looked at maybe some other public and private partnerships. If there's some different grant opportunities to help out that area to make it more attractive for tourism, I want to try to do that because it's going to help Jones County because it's bringing people here that's going to actually spend money here, eat at our restaurants, and help boost our local economy. So that's my comment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Kitchen?
Echo what Commissioner Pitt said about the Clinton. That was amazing to see that many people interested in tourism and what we have to offer here in Jones County. And I think we need to kind of expand on that a little bit. I would like to see us do maybe get in touch with the Historical Society and the Atlanta Preservation Commission and bring that subject up again around the Clinton area there, because I think it's an economic driver that we're missing out on in that area. And I think there's more opportunities in that area right now than there ever have been with some partnerships, whether it's with schools or some grant funding resources. So looking forward to that too. Obviously, we have the fire department picture fundraising going on. Either that or we gave some guy some money, you know, that, no, we had the guys come to our house. So I know that it's going on. I think we ought to promote that and make sure that it gets as much, because it goes to a good place and does a lot of good things with it. Final thing, you may have seen, it's a flyer. I'm gonna post some more to Facebook. We have a Solarize Middle Georgia program, 6 to 8 p.m. in this room next week, next Tuesday, and it is no obligation, no money. It's just an opportunity to hear what opportunities are out there for solar at a bulk purchasing power. Like I said, there's no commitment, no obligation. You can sign up and have a free assessment. They'll come to your house, look at it through Google Earth, and tell you an estimate of what it would take to put solar on your house or on your business, what the payback would be, what the return on your investment would be, and if you say thanks but no thanks and walk away, there's nothing to it. So it's just a information session. The last one they done in Atlanta, people that actually put solar on their house saved 20% through the crowdsourcing pathway than if they did it by themselves. So I think there's opportunities there. I'll be the first to say solar's not for everybody. It's not for every application, but for where it is, it works and it saves money because the sun is free. So next Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Hope everybody will come out.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, one more thing.
Sure.
Chaptaculars this week, and for those that have not been out there, it's an amazing sculpting chainsaw event. So things like that we need to advertise, and I wish more in advance we thought about and put it on our website, because he draws a lot of people from all over the place. I got Friday, November 9th from 9 a.m. to 6, and then of course Saturday as well. And then there's the carving auction from 3 to 5:30, and it's for a great program, cystic fibrosis. So go out and support it.
Yeah, talked with Chap today. It's an opportunity to volunteer your services out there. I'm going to be running the machine several days. He wanted to know if I had an opportunity to train Commissioner Martin, and I said, I saw what he did with his lawnmower. We're not going to train him on a skid steer out there on the
nothing with hydraulics in a bucket.
I saw pictures of the lawnmower, and I don't think it'd be a good idea to use that as a training field. I told him we might want to find something else he can do besides running a piece of equipment. But chiming on the historical district, a few weeks ago I got the opportunity to welcome a group in that toured the entire county as far as tourism, and they were going to give us a free evaluation. And I mean, every aspect of the county they were looking at, recommendations and whatnot, suggestions. And I don't know if we got that report back yet, but they were a good group. I was also invited last weekend, but I was
per obligations.
I was running.
You've running.
I was running. That's something we could do as a board. We can put on a half marathon.
I tell you what, and
13 things on the agenda.
Motion to adjourn. No, that's good. But if there's no more commissioner comments, I need a motion to adjourn to go into executive session for personnel, real estate, and claim settlement.
So move, Sheriff.
Sorry. That report is going to be December the 12th.
Okay.
At the W. Knox Center.
Okay.
And Saturday is also Veterans Appreciation Day.
Okay.
Starts at the Knox Center. Registration for veterans starts at 12, and the program 11, and the program is 5.
Okay. Thank you. All right, now I'll entertain that motion to adjourn and go into executive session.
A motion with adjourn to go into executive session.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank y'all.